to this track, bitch.
The way you moving got me in a trance. DJ tell me ladies, this your jam. I'ma sip my scotto, you gon' move fast. I'ma throw this money while you do it with your hands. Girl, jump into the fun. I love the way you do it, girl. Sit back and watch it roll. I'ma see the noise come.
She gets this, Roskin or a yellow ball. DJ, this my favorite song, so I'ma make it thunderstorm. Pull it, want it, block the hell, blow it, fuck it, I don't care. Dresses flying everywhere, got my partner Roscoe like, bro, I'm drunk as hell, can't you tell? Do something good that fit this stack so fucking well. I'm trying to hit the hotel with two girls that swallow me. Hey, they did what I swallow, hey, Moscato got a freaky. Hey, you got me in the trance. Please take off your pants. Please pop on the handstand. You got me swaying. Please let's be a fan. Damn.
The way you moving got me in a trance. DJ tell me ladies, this your jam. I'ma sip my scotto, you gon' move fast. I'ma throw this money while you do it with your hands. Girl, jump into the
Good afternoon, everybody. We are back to Big Ben Campus. We are live Tuesday, January 17th, 2017. My name is Jeff. They call me the Big Ben Campus. Here with you on a Tuesday. Ryan, how you doing?
Good. What's up, buddy?
We need a winner from you tonight, Ryan.
Yeah.
You're 9-7. You've delved back into not the abyss, but it's nothing a winner can't cure. You've had a 2-0. You went 0-2, then you hit 9 in a row, and now you've lost 5 in a row.
Yep.
Very topsy-turvy, but good thing is you're still in the positive.
Right.
You're basically at record-wise, you're up, but your units you'd basically be even.
Pretty close. Yep.
But even though Ryan, anyone can get out of it. You can jump right out of it. We need a winner tonight, and look, I'm sure you'll get one. We'll go over Ryan's play of the day. It's always good to buy low and sell high. Ryan is low right now, so it'd be good to buy right now. And
Right.
I think there's some games out there tonight that we can find some value in. Welcome to everyone out there listening. As always, it's Tuesday. I will point out, Ryan, I'm not really feeling it today. I don't really feel like doing this today.
Okay.
Which when you do this every day, it gets kind of monotonous and old.
Very.
This is one of those days.
Yep.
I'm not.
You break my balls sometimes for not wanting to do it, and
Well,
perfect example. You have a day.
I know,
today
Ryan,
where-
but I
so,
do this.
I mean,
18 hours a day. It's like it's constant. It gets old, a little bit. But again, I try to make the generalization that I'll be on here every day, and I am. So we're here. Hopefully the picks continue to do well. I'm 39-34 on the year with the free plays here. I went 2-1 last night, Ryan. So hopefully, if Georgetown would have scored a little bit last night, we probably would have had a 3-0 night.
Right.
But we just fall short, 74-56.
funny, you would have thought it would be the other way around, with Providence the one that would have struggled to score last night, and it happened to be Georgetown.
Yeah, and it's like, if I was like, let's say I was getting paid by someone to do this, it'd be like, okay, well, But it's like I come on here for free, and it's like,
Yep.
Okay. But we do it for the people, Ryan. Let's jump into everything here. As always, we'll go over the college basketball slate. We'll also go over, just some things going on in the world of sports right now. Got some buy, sell, a little five. We'll do all that as well. Let's jump into tonight's action, Ryan. A little bit bigger of a card, about the same size, I guess, as last night. What do we got tonight? You got SEC basketball. You got some Mountain West.
NC State, Pittsburgh.
AAC basketball.
Matchup. Yep.
Yeah. Let's jump into it here. And guys, no need to ask us about a Pacific game. We'll try to get to all of them. First one, Ryan, that I'm going to look at, I'm going to go with Central Florida, minus 13.5 against South Florida, the battle of the Sunshine State here. And you look at two teams, I think, going in opposite directions or have been going opposite directions. UCF, I mean, they're finally off of a nice, complete victory against Houston. I know, Ryan, you and I talked, that was kind of a coin flip. I thought it's a really tough game. Yeah, be smooth. There's nothing going on in my life. I just don't feel like doing this today. That's all. It's not anything bad or anything. I'm doing fine. I just, kind of not feeling it today. I had to go to the dentist too, so that's always kind of a downer. But Houston, they beat Houston, playing well. And we kind of wanted to see an output from Central Florida ever since B.J. Taylor came back. They've kind of been inconsistent, haven't gotten complete game from all their players, and they finally got one, and now they're facing a South Florida team here at home who it really has been a tough ride for South Florida all year. Their best player, Jamal McMurray, left the team, and ever since then they've been bad. They've lost all 5 games. They're scoring under 60 points a game, shooting it at just 37.8%, and it gets tougher because now you got to go on the road and face the best field goal percentage defensive team in the country. At home this year, Central Florida allowing opponents to shoot 31% and score just 55 points a game. We've seen them, Ryan, at times as your whole team's to 45 points, 38 points. I mean, just a very good defense team. They're also second in the country in rebounding at 44 a game. Taco Fall came off kind of a tough 2-game outing last week, last Saturday with a double-double. This has blowout written all over it, if you ask me. South Florida has, I think, quit, and they are a team that you want to bet against for the foreseeable future. This one's easy for me. I think this is like a 72-50 type of game. I think this is a blowout.
Yeah, and you have to ask yourself, where the offensive production from South Florida is going to come from. In a game where, it is a relatively large spread, how are they going to get enough buckets to really kind of keep it close? It's not like they're anything special defensively. I mean, you look over the last 5 games, giving up about 72 a game. I mean, if that number was a little lower, maybe in the low 60s or something, you'd feel a little better about it because they're getting it done defensively. So, in turn, that would make up for the lack of offensive production. But, I mean, really, really struggling. I mean, they're on a 5-game skid. They've lost their last 5. They don't win on the road. I'm just not sure, like I said, where the offense is going to come from. On the road, they're only scoring about 63 a game. And like you said with Central Florida, these teams really kind of really gets after it defensively. That's kind of where they make their mark. And, holding teams to that tremendous field goal percentage is great. And, yeah, that's kind of the way I would look at it. And that's the way I look at the game when I say to myself, how is South Florida going to be able to score to keep the game close? You think UCF would be able to kind of get it done offensively because South Florida, nothing special defensively. So I'll take UCF as well here.
Yeah, I considered maybe the under as well. I think it's a pretty low scoring game. I could see a 68-50. That kind of game, 72-50. I think this game stays under. I mean, the total's at, I believe, 128. I might have changed since then, but under could be a pretty good play here as well.
Another thing I like about, and that kind of parlays to the under too, is UCF doesn't foul a lot. I think they only average about 15 fouls a game, which is relatively low. And so in turn, you're obviously not sending guys to the free throw line. So no free points that way.
Yeah, I'll stick with the side here. I'm kind of kicking myself because I mentioned last night I did like Providence. And then went to total instead. And I'm gonna stick with my gun here and go with the side here. And I'm sure the side will lose and the under will come in easily. It'll be 61-50.
And that's how I was last. I remember I said I liked UT Arlington. They cover. My play doesn't get it done. It's always that kind of catch-22 bullshit.
Yeah, but we'll see. I've still had a pretty good run here, so I'm going to go with UCF minus 13.5 in this one. Next one, Ryan. I hate to do it, but I'm going to go against Michigan. I'm going to go with Wisconsin. Minus 10.5 against the Wolverines here. You start with Michigan, another team kind of treading water, I guess. I know they had a win the other day against Nebraska. But they didn't cover that game, and they've not covered all year. They've failed to cover in any road game this year. They're 0-5 against conference opponents, and they're 4-11 ATS. I want to shout out, Ryan, a stat I heard today about Michigan from Teddy Covers on Sportsbit. He mentioned that in the last 173 minutes of game action, Michigan has never been covering in any of that time. No spread. They haven't covered any spread
because they've been favorites. So, in turn, they're not covering.
Right.
Lately, they've been favorites. I'm just saying that's
Right.
why they haven't been covering.
Right.
So.
Right. They've really had struggled to score this year, or not score, but defend. I'm sorry. Really having issues on the defensive end. We've mentioned before their 3-point issues. They're allowing opponents to shoot 43% from distance, and also the rebounding issues. I mean, they're not big. We've talked about that. That's why they need Mohamed Bamba. They are not big at all. They're only getting about 29 rebounds a game. And look, now you got to go on the road and face a Wisconsin team that hasn't lost at the Kohl Center this year. And they're 6-1 ATS. I've learned with Wisconsin. Are we ready to buy into them yet as a Final Four kind of team? I don't know, because when they step up, they haven't won. But against teams like this, they've gotten the job done. They've covered. And look, I mean, their discrepancies at home are pretty crazy. 81 points a game, giving up 53.5. That's pretty damn good here. I think Ethan Happ is a big night for the against the undersized Michigan team here. Look, I'm not impressed they beat Nebraska at home. It is what it is. I'm going to lay the number with Wisconsin. I've learned over the years, you kind of just want to hold your nose and lay the number here with the Badgers. I think they're peaking right now.
Yeah, and Michigan doesn't play particularly well at the Kohl Center. I forget the exact numbers for them lately, but if you remember, in recent memory, the last, I think they have one win in their last, 4 or 5 trips to the Kohl Center. The last one I can remember was a few years ago when Nick Stauskas hit a step back with like a couple seconds left to give them a win. But other than that, I mean, they really struggle. I mean, and it is a tough place to go in and play, and you're right though. Michigan's, they're just struggling. I mean, they're 12-6, but ATS wise, really struggling defensively. And that's kind of something you would need in a matchup like this, where Wisconsin can throw so much at you, and they have so much firepower. So not in love with the game. Just I've said time and time again, I don't like getting involved with Michigan, but the way they're playing this year, you can't be too nervous betting against them because they don't get the job done ATS-wise. So, Wisconsin should be able to come out and handle business here. I mean, really, this has been a fun matchup to watch. When it was, when they had Stauskas and McGarry and those guys, whenever Wisconsin and Michigan got together, usually pretty fun. Lately, I can't see this being a very exciting game to watch. I know it's that patented 9 o'clock Big Ten matchup where you'd expect it to be a close game, but I just don't have a good feel with it. I mean, Michigan, they don't wow you anymore.
They don't really do anything great.
I mean, they just don't wow you. I mean, in that Nebraska game, that was a close game for the entire game, and that's a game you expect them to kind of be able to get some sort of traction at home and be able to separate. And anytime they'd get it up to 7 or 8, Nebraska would claw their way back. So, I mean, they just don't do anything particularly well this year, and it's a shame. And Beeline, people are calling for his head. I don't really understand it, but it is what it is. And, Whiskey should kind of get things going here, so.
Yeah, best game, but you have to point out, like Ryan said, there's much better Michigan teams that have covered. And look, they've played pretty hard lately against. I remember last year or 2 years ago, they held tough against Wisconsin, but that was, again, in Michigan. It's just Kohl Center, they play well there.
Yep.
I mean, they
it's
really do.
A tough place to
I
play.
knew last year, Ryan, I think I mentioned to you, or I don't know if it was you, but it was somebody, but they were almost an auto bet at times last year at home. I mean, they were just killing it against the spread.
And they cover this year as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a pretty easy time of it tonight. I think this game's pretty similar to last night with Syracuse and North Carolina. Yeah, I thought, some people thought, well, it's a lot of points and whatever, but I just think Wisconsin's a much better team than Michigan. Michigan's had issues on the road.
Yep.
They have issues covering. It's just kind of the same game. Okay. Yeah. We're calling spade a spade here. My third play, Ryan, I'm going to go with Central Michigan. I've looked over this game. I didn't like it at 3, but at 5, I'm going to go with it here against Ball State. I haven't been involved much here with the MAC this year just because it's a tough conference, I've learned, backing some of these teams. But, I look at Ball State here. I mean, Ron, you seeing their home numbers against the spread?
Yeah, I did. I looked at this game earlier. Yeah.
They failed to cover in 22 of 31 at home. Yeah. They're a disastrous home team against the spread, and they've not been good as a favorite either. 5-18 over the last 21 as a favorite. or 23 is a favorite. I'm sorry. So, I'm not looking to grab them as a favorite. And I mentioned, I think they're kind of a disappointment this year. I thought they'd be a little bit better team. I thought they would, with some of their guys coming back, to be a much better team, and they haven't been. They've struggled on the defensive end lately, and they've really had issues getting stops. And now they've got to play against Central Michigan, that has been fantastic offensively, 89 points a game. Marcus Keene, the highest scorer in the country, he's dropped 40 a couple times this year. I know Ball State has had some luck recently against Central Michigan, but it's hard for me to think that this one's, it should be a shootout. I mean, you're going to see a lot of points in this one. There's a reason the number's 172. But, we've talked about it before. Sometimes you got to just take the team with the best player on the court, and I think that's Marcus Keene. I really believe that. Like I said, I'm not very high on Ball State. I could see Central Michigan going in and winning this game. As a favorite and at home, I'm not interested in Ball State. I'm going to go short and sweet here and go with the Chippewas +5.
Yeah, I kind of went against the numbers last night with my play of the day. If you remember with Troy, when they're same situation here at home. Not good numbers at home ATS and not good numbers as a favorite ATS, and I kind of went against that. I thought it was a good spot, and the numbers held serve. So you would think the numbers would hold serve again tonight, like you said, in a similar situation here. 2 11-6 teams. Neither team has been particularly good ATS. 2 high-scoring teams. So very similar here. I mean, the rebound numbers are similar. And these 2 teams are very similar. So obviously take the team with the better player and definitely take the points and put them in your back pocket. That's the way I look at this game. Pretty short and sweet, if you ask me. When these teams are this similar and you're getting 5 points.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ball State has shown to be a 5-point favorite here. And people are betting Ball State. I mean, this one opened 3. It's been bet up to 5. Like Jim's saying, you always kind of want to look the underdog to some of these smaller conferences. And, I could see that. In certain conferences, it's definitely sometimes the way to go. At some points, why is this team laying this kind of number? Marcus Keene was injured last game. Going to play tonight. Should be fine. I think at the end of the day, this is a very live dog. So we'll go with the Central Michigan Chippewas +5, UCF -13.5, and Wisconsin -10.5. Good mix of favorites.
At 172, it sure is a high number, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rightfully so, though. I mean, if you look at the numbers, but
you're basically banking on a 90, 85.
It's got to get into that high 80s range.
Yeah, I mean, I think the highest total I've seen this year was like Citadel. They were like 190-ish.
Right.
It's a very high total, especially for this conference. Ryan, what is your play of the day tonight?
I'm actually not going to give one, Jeff. I'm going to skip the play.
Good.
I'm going to skip.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to skip my play of the day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to kind of go back to the well. I bet it on a team.
Bettors out there curiously waiting that Ryan's not on their game.
Yeah, no, I backed Troy last night, who I backed early in the year. I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. I'm going to go with Illinois Chicago at home against Milwaukee.
Okay. They've been good to us.
They have been good to us, and they're the number's been bet down. It opened at 6. It's been bet down to -4.5. So that's the line we're going to use here with Illinois Chicago. Yes, with the Flames. You look at this matchup from the surface, and I just wonder, the number's kind of odd to me when you got a 5-13 club who's 2-10 on the road, okay, and they've lost, I believe, 9 of their last 10 straight up. ATS wise, they're okay, but 2-10 on the road and really just not playing good basketball at all. I think their average margin on the road is they're losing by like 10 or 11 points. So they're not even coming remotely close to this number. And then
73-64.
Right, and then you got the Flames here, who look, they've been pretty decent at home. They've been good ATS at home, 5-2 to the number, and their last 5 they're getting it done. Last 5 to me is really important. We talk about it on the show. I don't care for the most part what a team did December 19th. I really don't. I like to know what a team has done for me lately. And they're getting the job done, 4-1 to the number. Obviously, offensively, they've been a little shaky. Only scoring about 70 a game. But defensively, they've been good. 67 points a game. And I'm just not so sure Milwaukee's going to be able to score enough to kind of keep in this game. So I'm going to go with the Flames here. Got a big rebounding margin. So that's the direction I'm going to go. I'm trying to get a win here, guys. So that's the direction I'm going to go. So another stat I saw too in this situation as a home favorite, 3.5 to 6 points. They're 24-11 over the last 35 such situations. So they cover in this sort of situation, and then off a win against a conference opponent, they're 10-1 to the number lately. So
I'll tell you what I like here, Ryan. They're 5-0 against teams with losing records this year against the spread.
There you go.
I've used them recently in 2 straight games. They were a pick 'em. I bet them. Wasn't easy, but you always depended on them to get the job done.
Yeah.
And they've been a very good team for me. Yesterday on the roundtable, Ryan, the college basketball roundtable, which if you haven't seen, go check it out on SPR Forum. I was going to actually mention them as one of my teams. We just kind of got, a lot of people were talking. But, yeah, I mean, USC's been a great bet this year. They're 10-4 against the spread. And they've really been kind of a team in that conference that has been pretty pretty durable.
They have been.
They've been really quality. Yep. You know, Milwaukee struggled to score. They struggle to rebound. They struggle to defend. And I like what I've seen from this UIC team at home. Good offensively, allowing opponents to shoot 38.5%. I really like this play.
Especially when they get their best player back then, too. You got to remember, too, he's been out.
Not
so
sure.
You add that to the lineup, so.
Yeah. And, look, I mean, Milwaukee's won 4 in a row in this series.
In the series, yeah.
Time for a little revenge here.
Right.
Milwaukee's not very good.
No.
USC hasn't been very good.
Right.
But now they are. So, yeah, let's I like this play, Ryan. I really, really like it.
Hopefully it gets the job done. I need to stop this little losing streak here. It's starting to get really frustrating.
It's a shame that Dikembe Dixon went out because USC was a really good team.
Yep.
They still are. They could have maybe challenged for a conference title here. Oakland loses again last night.
Yeah.
Another bad loss to who did they lose to? Trying to remember.
Was that Cleveland State?
Cleveland, right? The Vikings. Hey, 20 minutes late. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you missed about 4 picks. Let's recap quickly. You like Illinois, Chicago minus 4.5. That's a great number.
It is.
Wow. UCF minus 13.5. I like Wisconsin minus 10.5 and Central Michigan plus 5. Ryan, let's break through here to the rest of the card. Just kind of go over some key points, I guess you could say. First one here, Texas Baylor. Seen a lot of love for the over in this game. Keep in mind, no Kendall Yancey or Tevin Mack.
Yeah.
Texas may struggle to score in this basketball game. I want to say they can hang here, but now that I see that Yancey's out, I'm not as high on that one. I got to tell you, I really kind of feel like this one stays under.
Yeah,
I think Baylor's really good defensively. And
no, they are.
Texas could struggle here.
They struggle. They've been struggling offensively, especially with Mack in the lineup.
What's that say there?
What, the open?
128.5.
It's been bet up.
People loving the over here.
It's been bet up.
I like under, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Texas struggles on the road. Haven't won a road game all year, which is that's kind of remarkable to me. Wow, I wasn't aware of that with Texas. But yeah, kind of like where your head's at too. And I would actually kind of lean Baylor. I know Texas has been profitable in road games, but Baylor had their hiccup. They had their hiccup at West Virginia.
Yeah.
Now they're back home. They're coming off 2 road games. Now they're back home.
Came back right away with a win at Kansas State.
Yes.
ACC, Pittsburgh at NC State. NC State 3.5, 158 in a total. I don't have much to read on these two teams. Illinois, Purdue. I was on SBR. They mentioned both them. They liked Purdue first half in this one.
Okay.
Illinois, I mentioned I'm not a big fan of on the road.
Right.
Purdue, always tough. First half looks like a pretty good play here. It's probably 5.5, I would think. I might look that way here.
Yeah, Illinois is. You kind of hit the nail on the head. I have certain teams that I don't like backing on the road. Illinois is definitely one of them. They're definitely that gritty kind of team at home, and especially if it's a small dog roll where they like to bark. But situation here against a Purdue team with a lot of size inside. I think they're just outmatched here. Really, I mean, I just really think they're outmatched here, and I would lean Purdue. I would. First half, though, they're the boys over at SBR. I think that would be a good play.
Yeah,
they should be up. They should
I
get
could
out the
even
gates quick.
I'll be honest. I think Purdue could honestly just roll with this one full
Yeah.
game too. Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan. Eastern laying a 7.5 over under 147. Listen, I like Eastern at home. They've been pretty good at home against the spread. Been a great offensive team. Gotten some stops lately as well. Public's betting on Western Michigan here for whatever reason. Lean Eastern here, but
I'm not too sure I'd want to back a team in Western that gives up almost 83 points a game on the road. That's just not something I'm interested in.
Yeah. Ray Lee, though, I'd like seeing him in there. Buffalo, Kent State, no opinion. Ohio, Akron. People liking Akron, no real opinion, though. Bowling Green, Toledo. I don't have much read on this conference. If you ever read on the MAC
basketball,
the only one I like would be that Central Michigan play. Arkansas, Texas A&M. I'm not impressed with Texas A&M. Haven't been all year. Arkansas, I'm more into backing, though, at home in Fayetteville. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win tonight. I'm not impressed with Texas A&M. Haven't been all year.
Yeah. Look, Arkansas's having a nice year, 13-4. Texas A&M very just kind of mediocre. I mean, really, it's really kind of hit or miss with them. They've been pretty good at home, but ATS wise, they've been really, really porous lately. This is not a game that I'm really interested in getting involved with at all. Really,
me either. I actually do have a play in the SEC tonight. Not in this game though. Kentucky, Mississippi State. I've said before, I'm not interested in getting in the way of Kentucky. Though Mississippi State has been pretty tough this year. They've played a lot better this year. They're not that typical, team that's just going to die and fall apart. Kentucky, I'll just bring it up. 2-3, 1-2, or 1-2 on the road this year against the spread. But it's hard to step in front of them. I mean, they're so good offensively. But look, I like what I've seen from Mississippi State defensively. I'm going to say this, Ron. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mississippi State hang here.
Okay.
I've had a real good read on the SEC this year. I've had a lot of plays in this conference. I've done well with it. I think some of these spreads are a little bit crazy. For some reason, I think Mississippi State hangs here at home.
They just beat Texas A&M at home, I believe.
Yeah,
so
I think they're going to win. I don't think, but at some point, Kentucky's going to struggle. I think.
Yeah.
Will it be tonight? I don't know, but I wouldn't mind taking them here. If I had to play it. Miami of Ohio, Northern Illinois. Do you have anything on that?
I do not. No, nothing on the Red Hawks or anything.
We talked about Illinois, Chicago, St. Bonaventure, and St. Louis. Bonnie laying 11. Been betting it up. It opened 9.5. Look, if Jalen Adams plays, I would probably go with Bonaventure.
That's
but St. Louis, I'm not ever interested in betting.
Yeah.
Travis Ford has a long road there. New Mexico, Boise. And New Mexico struggled this year for the most part. Listen, ever since that collapse against Nevada, I'm not
rightfully so
not interested. Boise still has some weapons, but I have no interest in that game. Vanderbilt, Georgia, not interested in Vandy either. Georgia's played good basketball this year.
No,
Vandy's very dependent on the three, and if they're not hitting threes, they're tough to beat. What's Georgia doing?
And Georgia holds teams below 30% shooting at home from three.
There you go. I'll tell you what you might want to do, and I don't do these too often. 4.5-point teaser. Illinois, Chicago, Georgia. All they got to do is win.
Yeah, I like it.
Tennessee, Mississippi, I have a play on. Any opinion on that game?
Do you? Yeah, I would go with Mississippi at home. Like I've said, and I like kind of Jeff, I think even has echoed those sentiments that Tennessee, hasn't, they're nothing special. I mean, really. So that's kind of the way and Ole Miss, look, they don't have that superstar that's going to blow you away. But, one thing I see is you want to look at very simple breakdown here. As a favorite, Tennessee 9-25 over the last 3 years. As an underdog, Ole Miss 21-9 the last 3 years. So take that what you will. I would lean Mississippi.
Keep in mind, Ryan, Mississippi was a lot better.
Well, sure,
then.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Tennessee struggled at times this year, for sure. I guess we'll leave it up to you and what you think I'm on in that one.
Yeah, I mean that's kind
of
coin
flipping game.
Right, that's the way I would go. But
okay. Wichita at Evansville. Wichita laying 11 over under 135.5. Evansville lost a lot last year. Wichita off a loss.
Yep.
Now, I don't want to be Evansville here.
Little revenge, little kind of take out their frustration.
Yeah, I like Wichita here.
Yeah, as do I.
Look at this.
Wow,
Look at this
Scott
guy.
Weaver.
Look at this guy, Scott Weaver.
Have you slept in the last 2 weeks?
Where's he been?
What's up, Scott?
Scott Weaver, Ole Miss is 5-1 straight up in the last 6 against Tennessee. Yeah, look, man, Tennessee's against certain teams they haven't had the number, but we'll see. I definitely hear that. I get what Ryan's saying, and I hear you. I can't say I'm on either side. I mean, I'm definitely on that game though in some consolation. I hope you're well, Scott. San Diego State UNLV. I've been playing this one as well, Ryan. Any opinion?
I made it clear I do not like Mountain West basketball.
Okay.
I don't get involved with it.
Yeah, I think the edge here is possibly the best on the board.
Okay.
We'll see. I went 2-0 last night, Ryan, so hopefully that'll continue. 6-0-1 in my last 7.
There you go.
The lone push was that fucking SMU game.
Yeah.
I had to relive it last night on Bad Beats. It was on.
Of course it was.
By the way, Bad Beats last night, I think it was the best I've seen from
No
that
kidding.
group. How come you didn't get the same greeting?
Because you're a pain in the ass.
Because we hate
I'll say
you.
it. You're a
That's
pain
why.
in the ass.
Yeah, we don't like you. That's why. Ryder Sienna. Someone mentioned why Sienna getting so much love tonight. Listen, I think long term Sienna's a decent play, but Ryder I think is a better team here. I'll actually be honest. I bet a little bit on the money line here from Ryder plus 210.
I like it. I mean, and I think someone brought it up on the board as why Siena is getting so much love lately. I mean,
Yeah.
They haven't covered yet at home. Their last 5, they're 1-3 to the number. In conference, they're 1-5 to the number. I just don't see what warrants them kind of being bet on here. So,
Take preparation H then, Ryan. What's that mean?
funny.
What's that mean?
He just likes to make jokes. That's,
What is? I don't.
That's what he does.
I actually
Because I
kinda
said
forgot.
he's a pain in the ass. So
Oh,
he's making a joke
okay,
like
got
that.
it. I don't. I forgot what preparation H was, to be honest. I've never used it. Knock on wood. Yeah, I'd like Ryder here. Honestly, I would take a shot maybe with the money line. Seems like a lot of points here.
Right.
One thing I have learned though, when some of these games look kind of like last night with the Cavs, the Warriors.
Yeah.
Cavs are laying a big number, or Warriors are laying a big
Warriors.
number at home.
And
And
they
look kind of,
fucking roll.
the line's going up. This is concerning here. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised to see Seattle roll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely possible. It definitely looks interesting. This is a shit conference, though. I
Yeah.
hate this conference. Yeah, no, they're one of their better players. Sienna's one of their better players was they got rid of him.
Correct.
St. Peter's Fairfield. You have anything on St. Peter's Fairfield? My boy Mark is saying Fairfield money line. Fairfield's actually played pretty well this year. St. Peter's is just kind of one of those. They want to play half court defense. They want to. They want to keep the game in the low 60s. That's St. Peter's game.
Yep.
My boy Mark says Fairfield, and he's usually pretty good with when he sends me a game. I haven't looked much into it, but
Yeah, I don't have much on this game either. St. Peter's has done well on the road, ATS wise, and in their last 5. But I'm not huge getting involved with games like this, like a contrast of styles where it's like pick your poison. You want to go with the like you said, the slow it down. Let's play in the 60s. You want to go with a team that's a little bit more kind of firepower. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm not into this game, but we'll back Markey here.
Iona, Manhattan. I hate both these teams. I'm not interested in Manhattan until Rich Williams gets back. And Iona, I've mentioned my issues with them. Scott Weaver says Ohio outright tonight. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I think Ohio's a really good team.
One thing about that last game,
You want to answer that?
Jeff, yeah, we can. One thing about the last game, quickly, Jeff. I kind of like Iona in that game. A couple things about Manhattan that stand out to me.
You just know he's going to call 10 times.
Right. You can decline it. He'll call it back.
Yeah.
You can Manhattan. They turn the ball over a lot. 18 turnovers per game. And listen to how many times they foul. 26 fouls a game.
Yeah, I think one thing, Ryan, you have to point out, they did have a crooked number. They played West Virginia and turned it over like 40 times.
But the fouls though?
Yeah,
26 fouls a
weird.
game? I mean,
Yeah, that's a lot. Iona shoots the ball pretty well from free throw, I believe, if memory serves me
They did
correctly.
shoot at 76%.
Oh, it is
really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
So, I kind of like Iona there.
Could be a sneaky play, Ryan. Scott says he likes Ohio outright. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, I think Ohio is really good. It's just my concern is Antonio Campbell not playing. I mean, he's been a pretty key cog to them, and without him, you wonder. But Ohio's played better defensively. Did you say UNLV San Diego State? Yeah, that's a member play for me, bro. Sorry. That game. But Scott will play it small, I guess. Why not?
Take his word for it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm on that Central Michigan. I feel that's a little bit better of a outright winner. But Scott Weaver, his return to the show. How can we not?
Always good to hear from you, Scott. You're a good dude.
Yeah, I guess Scott's finally reveled in his Clemson
He's
Tiger
had to have
thing.
Yep.
Thank God we don't have to hear about that for a while. Scott is a good fan of that school,
Nice.
so
Yeah, for sure.
you can't knock him for it.
Not at all.
Ryan, let's jump into some other things here.
Sure.
Do a little buy or sell. I came up with some questions.
Okay.
And, kind of some interesting questions. I kind of will be interested to hear what you think
I
about
like when
this.
you do this. I like when the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
I like when this happens every now and then.
Yeah, well.
Just because I don't know what to expect from the question.
Sure. Well, that's how you are. I don't know what to expect from your questions either. All right, so buy or sell. Basically, it's simple. Do you buy this notion or do you sell this notion? Do you not want to ever hear about it again? First one, Tony Romo has played his last game as a Cowboy. Buy or sell?
Oh, I'd buy that with
Okay.
everything I have. Absolutely buy it.
Because Garrett said yesterday that Dak's not
of
guaranteed.
course he did, but I would really be surprised. Really be surprised if they go forward with Romo.
I got to tell you,
quarterback.
if they do get rid of him, which I would agree with you, I think they will as well. Whoever picks him up, I think he's going to get a really good quarterback still. I still, to this day, will say I think Tony Romo's, when healthy, one of the best players in the league.
That's the problem, though, when healthy.
Right.
And that's an issue because he
Yeah,
hasn't
I
been
know.
healthy for the last, 3 years. And that's, as the most important position in the game,
Yeah.
you need some sort of stability there. And I don't think you really have it. He has to go someplace that has a decent offensive line intact.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to.
I will say this. I'll be happy if he does leave Dallas because I don't hate Tony Romo. He's one of the Cowboys where I don't hate him. I think he's a great player. And I'd like to see him go somewhere else where he can kind of thrive and hopefully, knock on wood, stay healthy. I could see Denver. That seems like a logical spot.
That's
for him
been
to
thrown
go.
around a lot, for sure.
Mark my words, if he goes to another team, he will win something soon.
Okay.
I believe that. I really think he's a good player.
Yeah, he needs to stay healthy, and maybe it'll be good for him to kind of get out of the limelight a little bit. So
Yeah, Arizona, Brad, that's a good one. I could see that one. Any thoughts on Vanderbilt? Yeah, we talked about that one with Georgia. I would look to maybe tease that one down, but I think Georgia's a good play in that game. I only do teasers when the line's at 4.5
Get it down
or
to a
5, and I can do a 4.5 and get it down to a pick 'em. I think we all buy that Tony Romo's gone in Dallas. Buy or sell? Tom Brady's career lasts longer than Donald Trump as president. So will Tom Brady
you mean
retire?
the rest of the way?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I didn't
know if you meant. Well, yeah.
Okay, let me
I got-
restructure
no, I
the
got it.
question.
I got what you're saying.
Will Tom Brady retire before Donald Trump's presidency is up? So do we think Donald Trump will be impeached early? Or do we think Tom Brady will retire soon? So
I think Brady retires before.
okay, so you envision Donald Trump has a 4-year presidency term. Okay.
Yep.
And you think Tom will be gone in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think he'll be gone before 4 years. Yeah. I mean, he's Christ.
Let's say they win it this
he's
year.
four-
Do you
he's
think
40 years old.
Do you think he drives off in the sunset after this year?
I mean, definitely something to think about. I'm not sure he will, but it's definitely something he could think about for sure.
Yeah,
I
think
he could walk away healthy. How many Super Bowls would it be for him? 4. So yeah, I mean that's something I never thought about that, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think Donald Trump will be impeached pretty quick. Personally, I think the time is quick for Donald. I think it's already pretty obvious that he's not going to last too long. Stay away from those hookers, Donald, in Russia. If he wins this year, he very well could retire. I could see it. I mean, really, he's getting up there, Ryan, like you said.
He's getting up there. He has kids. I mean, it's not like his. I mean, he does. It's not like he's on. I mean, he'll always have a chance with Belichick there, but it's not like he has a ton of weapons around him, and he has a team that that I feel that he could win for the next 6-7 years. But yeah, that's definitely something.
We watched that Entourage episode with him last night.
Yeah.
That is one of the best episodes of
It
that
is.
show when
Yeah.
they play golf against Johnny and Vince.
Yep.
Next one, number 3. Buy or sell, Embiid's minute restriction should be lifted. Do you want to see more Joel Embiid? He's taking the league by storm.
I sell that. I'm okay with, because going forward it's going to stay at 28, and I'm actually okay with that because, I mean, really, I mean, yeah, for the fans it'd be exciting if he could play a little bit more, but you have to think about the team, his longevity. God forbid something happens to him and he gets hurt and you have to, something with his feet and you have to go through that bullshit again. So I'm okay with it because they're not going to win anything whether he plays 28 minutes or he plays 38 minutes. So I'm okay with it because once we get Ben Simmons back, that'll give the team more energy and more excitement around it. So I'm just more focused on getting into next year with everyone healthy.
Yeah, I buy it as well. I mean, it's working. I mean,
Yeah.
why switch it up? I mean, you know, like you said, he's obviously had some injuries before. He's a big kid. You know, all those minutes on those feet and stuff, that's only going to make it worse. Like you said, they're not going to win anything anyway. So I think we should just keep how it is. We don't need to get too greedy here. Let's just let it play out if it's going to play out. Listening in from Australia, you guys are the best. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, Mark. We're waiting for Ben. We are. We're ready to go. Hopefully, he comes back soon.
Yeah, right.
However you would say it. You're down in Melbourne. I'm pretty good at that, aren't I?
Australia. It's more of an English a little
No,
bit.
Melbourne.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Yeah, down south.
Yeah, Foster's.
Foster's.
Dude, they have some great accents, I gotta say.
They do. Yep.
D-Bear, Toledo, Bowling Green. D-Bear, listen, man, we went through the whole card. I don't think either of us had an opinion. I don't really like the MAC, to be really honest with you. I'd love those guys to come in and just say, game.
Yeah, I don't.
You know?
I don't.
We don't have anything on that one. Sorry, brother. Come back tomorrow. Maybe we'll have something on what you're looking for. Final one, Ryan. You've heard about these kids that are, I guess, actually they're guys out in Vegas. They picked the team and they just doubled down for 8 weeks straight.
Yeah, the Packers.
Yeah, and they're up the $30K or whatever.
Yep.
So they bet Green Bay on the money line this week. Let's say they win.
So
right?
they did bet.
Yeah, on the money line.
Okay.
So if they win, they're up 76,000.
Yep.
They made a point that they don't care about the money. They don't care what happens. They're going to do it until it loses. Buy or sell that is one of the stupidest decisions you've ever heard.
Well,
They want the memory. You already have the memory. You're already relevant.
Well, I wonder how well off they are. I wonder how much money they have because
you're probably not going to beat New England. Why not just take your money?
Well, I mean, if you're well off and you don't necessarily 100% need the $32K, then I don't have an issue letting it ride.
I get
if
it's a coin flip,
If you're
though,
someone
but
like
it's
us that $76,000 could really help you as a 27-year-old, sure, I think it's stupid, absolutely.
But it also is, again, I get, like, it's not about money for certain people or whatever, but listen, let's say they win this one, which they're 5-point
Which
underdog.
they can, yeah.
Which, yeah, let's say they win.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear they'll probably be a touchdown underdog to Green Bay.
Right.
The likelihood of winning isn't high. I mean, why not just cut your losses and just take your money and run?
Not sure.
It's not like you have a future or something where you have to hedge.
Right.
I mean, this is so ridiculous that this will never happen again. And what's the story if you lose? There's no story there.
Yeah.
There's a happy ending here. All you got to do is take it. 76,000. There's two guys. That means they'll make a little under $40K a piece.
Right.
Off of a $150 wager.
Right.
Yeah. What's that? I agree. But then again, we're people that bet pretty frequently.
Yeah.
For me, it's about money. I'm looking to make a profit any way possible.
Right.
If you don't bet a lot, it's just like I guess it is a cool story.
It's like a story.
It's like you never really had it, so it's like okay.
Yeah.
But for me,
it's a thrill for them. So
I wouldn't have even bet this game.
Yeah.
I would have bet 5,000 on something. There's no way I'm betting the whole amount. So you're selling that.
Yeah.
You would keep it going?
Oh no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so you buy it.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd buy it.
Yeah, I think the sentiment here is we would all take the money.
I'll
also.
say this: I don't mind them doing it this week. Getting the Super Bowl, I'd stop because I'm not so sure the matchup with either one of those teams because I think they can, and I think we talked about it last time. I think they can definitely go into Atlanta and win the kind of role they're on. But
this week I I would
I think
scale
that'd be
it.
I think that'd be a tough decision this week.
I would scale it back a little bit. I wouldn't bet the
Not
whole
just
amount.
bet the whole thing.
But then again, like I said, I don't think these guys are sports bettors. I don't think they're like heavy into it.
Right.
So, well, good for them. Hopefully they win. So that's all I have. There was one other one someone mentioned. Buy or sell. One of the top 5 teams in college basketball will win the national championship. Yeah, I would buy that.
The top 5 teams.
You got what?
now.
Villanova, Kansas. I think Kentucky's in there.
Yep.
Gonzaga.
The Zags. Yeah.
And somebody else.
Yeah.
Who was it? UNC? I would probably buy that.
I think I would buy that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I don't think, Creighton got some disturbing news this week. That's tough for that team because he'll never play again.
Right.
That's Mauritius Watts. He's a senior.
He's a senior.
Yeah, tough for him. He's a Philly kid. Tough to see. And Creighton was really good to me this year.
Nova, Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga, Kentucky.
That's right.
One of
That's
those
right.
5 teams.
Yeah, I would buy that. I think one of those 5 will win.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I could see Duke coming along, but
Yep. I'll buy it.
But yeah, one more thing on Creighton. It sucks because I know, Ryan, I bet on them a lot this year.
Yep.
They've been one of my favorite teams, and they got a win yesterday, which was a great win for them. That was a huge win. Being in the bonus the way the Xavier Musketeers were, the fact that you didn't have your starting kid, you didn't have Patton for most of the game, that's a big win. If Doug McDermott's, what's his dad's name, Greg?
Yes.
That's how you become a great coach. Do I think Watson plays in the league? I don't know, man. It's tough because he only really had 6 months of relevancy.
Right.
Yeah, he was at BU, and I hope he does.
He could try. Definitely make an effort trying to get on somewhere.
Yeah, he's a
Maybe go
tough
D-League
kid,
or
positive
something
kid.
like that.
We'll see.
Yep.
I got a future on Atlanta 6-1 to win the Super Bowl. Go Falcons. Good luck, man.
Yep.
I actually think they're going to lose this week, but I wish you luck, James. Hopefully you win. Ryan, that's a good question though. Whoever said that. Ryan, any opinions on the Phillies making some moves? Get Michael Saunders and
No, I think that's a good addition. I mean,
Howie
and they
Kendrick.
brought in Howie Kendrick earlier, and if you kind of look at their
yes, he's a senior this year. He won't play again in college.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at kind of their projected lineup going forward, it's not terrible. It's kind of getting better. You can kind of do the math. Cesar Hernandez, Howie Kendrick 2, Cabrera, Saunders, Rupp. Who's the first baseman? What's his name? I can't think of his name. So I mean, their lineup's coming together. I think they're doing things the right way. I mean, they have a lot of talent in the farm system. So, like I've said before, I like the direction they're going. So
yeah, you mentioned you like the whole Clay Buchholz thing, and
yeah, I kind of like what they're doing.
What do you think of the Braves? Well, they do have a new stadium, which is cool,
Right.
but they're signing the likes of Bartolo Colon and those kind of guys. But
Right.
I haven't really followed much in the way of baseball over the winter here.
Yep.
I know Eric Hosmer re-signed and some other Danny Duffy he re-signed.
Yeah, they both get new stadiums. That'll be interesting.
Which
it'll be a
I'm
draw.
not sure why because
It'll be a draw for them.
No one really cares about the Braves.
Well, no one really cares much about Atlanta sports, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. But Ryan, let's jump into your 5 questions.
Yep.
We do this seemingly every day. Sometimes we don't.
Right.
I have a voicemail. Do we want to listen to that?
It's up to you. I'm sure we know who it's from.
All right, let's listen to this voicemail. This voicemail just came in on my phone.
Hey, Fat Man on Campus. I want to challenge you to a $500 challenge. So you know the one I whooped Brandon Shively on? $500, college basketball, 7 days. I'll pay you $500 if you beat me, which will never happen. And we can even make a spread. I'll be -3, 3.5 on games if you really want to do it. I will fucking destroy you and embarrass you. But here's the thing: if I lose to you, I would simply retire and never handicap again. I want to prove to everybody that you're a fraud and you don't win. Suck at handicapping. You don't even bet.
Now, let's stop this for a second. First of all, how does 7 days prove that I'm a fraud and don't win? Because
there he is.
There is 52 weeks in a year.
There he is.
Yeah, Chris, you were the same guy that I think bowed out of that one. I think you did that shitty thing of Brandon was down like a game or two, and you just bet the other side of all his games. So yeah, I'm good. I'll pass. If anyone believes Chris Barr would actually do that, oops, I blocked the Philly guy by accident. Sorry.
Are you sure it was by accident, Jeff?
Whoop-de-doo. Actually, it was, honestly. I was just trying to block Chris Barr. I blocked Philly guy by accident. I'm not kidding. I was trying to block Chris Barr, and it didn't work. What do you got for 5 questions, Ryan?
Yeah, let me get them up here. We got, right off the bat, kind of similar to what that guy just asked, but give me your top 5 in college basketball right now.
Right now, I think Gonzaga is the best team in the country. I'll go that Gonzaga 1, Villanova 2, just because of what they've done, over the whole year. Kansas 3, great win last night, by the way.
It was.
UCLA right now, and I'll go Kentucky 5. So I'll go Gonzaga, Villanova, Kansas, UCLA, Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, I go Nova, Kansas, Gonzaga, UCLA.
Come on, Ryan. You know you want to do it.
I put Kentucky at 5.
Who was your 4? Gonzaga?
No, UCLA.
Gonzaga's not in your top 5.
I said 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear. Sorry. Gonzaga. I'm curious as to why. Scott, we've talked about that. In a nutshell, I think offensively and defensively, I think they're stacked. B, they've beaten 4 or 5 top 25 teams. They have the same amount of top 25 wins as Villanova and more than Kansas. I just think what they've done this year speaks for itself, and I think being undefeated, they've done everything that's been in front of them. And I'm not even counting the St. Mary's game. So I think right now they've done as much as they needed to do. A couple here. Nova, UCLA, Kansas, UNC, Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's good. I'm not sure if they're a top 5 team just yet. But I can see Notre Dame.
They've been very
coming.
impressive.
I mean, they've been great. Point guards, the best in the country, I think. Best gambler, Kentucky, Nova, Zaga, UCLA, UNC. That was yours, wasn't it? Or no, you had Kentucky 5.
I had Kentucky 5.
UNC's a right
I thought
there.
about putting UNC in there, but I just couldn't pull the trigger yet. But yeah, they're definitely moving up for sure. Number 2, Jeff. If you could pick one player in the country to start your team with, who would it be?
In college.
In college.
Because I would actually go somewhere else. College. That's a tough one, Ryan. You want you to go? Let me think about that.
Okay, yeah, I'll go. It's funny because I think this is a tough question because kind of similar to what we talked about last night with the lack of in my opinion, the lack of kind of superstars that we have in college basketball right now. So you can kind of go a plethora of ways. There's definitely a fair share of guys. I mean, if you kind of just want to look at who would be at the top of most draft boards right now. But I'm going to go with Malik Monk. I like his game. I like how you can go inside, you can go outside. He plays with a sort of aggression that I really like. And, that's where I'm going to go. I like Malik Monk. And I know a lot of people right here want the Sixers to take that kid from Washington, Folk, yeah. So rightfully so, but I do. I like Malik Monk though.
I'll go Lonzo Ball.
Okay.
I think the kid is fantastic.
Yep.
His shot has become almost money. I like Folk,
and it's a strange shot too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
which is interesting.
Yeah, that family's stacked, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I watched a little thing on that group, those 3 the other day.
Okay.
Their dad's just a regular guy. He's just really put all of his time into
his effort into that, yeah.
And he's a great dad. He puts everything into them. They're going to go to the NBA, all of them. I don't have any pool. I'm just a regular guy. But yeah, it's they're an interesting group. Not the best looking kids in the world.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
They're
but
definitely a little strange.
But I'll tell you the youngest one, LaMelo. He's good.
Yep.
We got some De'Aaron Fox, Josh Hart, Malik Monk. That's a good one, sure. Look, Harry Giles has yet to prove himself.
Yeah.
He's an elite talent.
Exactly.
I think Markelle Fultz is great, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's really good. Scott asked about West Virginia as number 2 and Ken Palm. I think offensively and defensively, they're probably pretty strong, but there's some particulars that I just don't like about West Virginia. I think they're either really unique or really easy to beat. If you can beat that press, which a lot of those Kansas and Iowa State and Oklahoma, all those teams have seen that, I don't think they're going to fool anyone.
There's a reason why they never make deep runs, really.
Correct.
I mean, really.
And they're really all or nothing. That's what they are. Yeah. They're also, I just don't trust them from the free throw line. That is how you lose games, and they've.
Especially later in the year when games are going to be close more times than not.
And look, I mean, how long, last year, Louisville, they were a huge, their scoring margin was ridiculously high. Remember last year? They were killing teams.
Yes.
What they end up doing?
Oh, I know.
You know, so I don't really buy it, and I don't know that Bob Huggins can win anything.
No.
So we'll see. I don't think they have
struggled.
Maybe right now they're number 2, but I don't know that they're in the top 10.
Yeah.
Good question, Ryan.
Yeah. Number 3. Does Roy Williams, who is the second fastest now to win 800 games, which he accomplished last night, and he's gotten to 8 Final Fours, does he get a bad rap? Do you think?
No.
You don't think he gets a bad rap?
I think he's one of those guys that just wins because he's a hell of a recruiter. I'll put it that way.
He is.
I don't think an X and O coach, though, he is. He's one of those guys that, he does get a lot of really good players. And he's done it for a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was the quickest he's gotten to what?
He's the second fastest to win 800 games.
At one program or
no, just in general.
Okay. And how long has he been a coach?
I don't know. He's won 800 games and he's coached I think
30 years,
1,000 and change. But
listen, I don't really. Look at some of his teams. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know that Roy Williams If I need to win a game, I'm not going to pick Roy Williams. But that's what college has become. It's recruiting. It's
right.
Who can you do anything for to get them to come to your school? Mm-hmm. And he does a great job at that. So. He's been a coach longer than I've been alive. So,
right.
As I think about that, not really.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of think he gets a little bit of a bad rap, but I mean, he's not the great.
Like a nice guy,
he's not the greatest coach. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Kids like to play for him. I'm sure there's been some, but I personally haven't heard anyone say anything bad about him. Kids talking about ex-players wise, and
here's why.
And he's won, and he's gotten to 8 Final Fours, that's impressive.
Here's one thing about him that I don't think that Here's why Steve Fisher to me is a great coach, because Steve Fisher went to a program, totally resurrected and took it to a new height.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Roy Williams ever do that.
But I'm not going to knock the guy for
comes in
two of the best programs ever.
He comes in a ready-made program.
That's the top of the mountain. But
he seems like a cool guy. I like what they did for him.
He just gets a bad rap, but
sure.
I was just curious. Okay. Is it a coward move or is it a smart move by Roger Goodell not going to New England this weekend?
I think that's a smart move. I don't understand why he goes to any games, because I think if you put 10 football fans in a room, I think 10 would say they don't like it. Mm-hmm. I find it unbelievable that he goes to games and people shake his hand.
Yeah.
Are they just doing that because they're starstruck?
I'd fucking flick them off.
Yeah, it's this guy's totally ruined the game. And Ryan, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a huge NFL fan, but even I'll tell you, he's ruined the game to me. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty smart move, because I think it's pretty clear him and Rob Kraft don't like each other.
Well, sure.
And plus, he's done some shitty things to that group. So, yeah, I think that's a smart idea.
I just think I think it's smart as well. I don't think it's really coward. I just think
plus, it's going to be pretty cold.
He'd catch a lot of flack, right? You can beat a dome in Atlanta. He'd catch a lot of flack. I mean, I don't blame him.
Will he be at the Super Bowl, I wonder?
Yeah, well, he'll be.
I'm sure he will.
Right. I have to hand the trophy to Belichick if they win. That'd be great. Okay, last one. The LeBron, Draymond Green / flagrant foul / flop last night. In your opinion, was that a flagrant foul or was it a flop? Or was it a flop?
No, it was a flop.
Okay,
come on. Listen, I like Draymond Green's energy when he's on the court.
So you don't think it was a flagrant foul though at all? He just charged at LeBron and just shouldered him. I mean, did LeBron flop someone? Yeah, I mean, LeBron's a house, and for him to fall like that, he obviously flopped someone. But I mean, if you look, I watched the replay 8 times, and I think it was a flagrant foul though. I mean, it's not like Draymond tried to hop in front, establish position, draw a charge. I mean, he just runs into LeBron and
Well, I think the question is though. Listen, I think sometimes flagrant fouls are
they're handed out like candy at times.
Well, but sometimes you kind of have to set a precedent.
Yeah,
and he set a precedent. Mm-hmm. When he's in the game, they're crazy plus as far as plus minus.
Right.
So look, what they did last night though, by the way, I think they set the message kind of straight. They're the team to beat by a wide margin.
Well, I mean, Cleveland did beat them on Christmas, so
but they
so they split the series.
But Golden
you
State
can't-
led the whole game.
You can't base anything off one game, though. I mean, you can't.
I'm not. I'm basing it off of the Christmas game too. They were getting crushed the whole game.
Right, and if you remember, I
Take away
believe-
the last minute.
Didn't
and
the
they lose.
Warriors pound Cleveland in one of those games last year in the finals, and Cleveland came back to? So that's what I'm saying. You can't base off one game. It's definitely eye-opening.
Cleveland is not as good as Great Golden State. Okay, it's time to pass the torch. Kevin Durant will win this year. But it'll be a good series because they're starting to get this rivalry going. I think it's a rivalry. I've said that before. I think this rivalry, I think it's must-see basketball.
But that's what's a shame about it. They play twice a year, and you have to bank on them getting to the finals.
Listen.
That's why it sucks. Because while it is kind of a rivalry, it's a shame because they play twice a year, and if they don't get to the finals, you don't see it.
No, we'll see it this year. I mean,
So-
that's how great the NBA is. We can almost peg who's going to be in the finals every year.
Right, and I won't watch any playoff basketball until the finals if that's the matchup. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. I enjoy it. I didn't watch a ton last night just because the game was over pretty quick.
very.
So, But yeah, so, all right, guys, that'll be it for tonight. Great questions, Ryan, as always. Always good stuff with that. You were on Illinois, Chicago, minus 4.5 as your play of the day. I'm on Central Florida, minus 13.5. I'm on Wisconsin, minus 10.5. And I'm on Central Michigan, plus 5. Everyone have a great night. We'll be back Wednesday with another edition of the Big Man on Campus. We're back with our Hump Day. Ryan, what's on the menu for tonight?
Food wise, I'm gonna make some chicken fajitas and some rice.
Some rice,
and stuff
very
like
good,
that.
very good. Sounds great, as always. Everyone have a great night. We'll be back. If you're interested, I will be on SPR Forum tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern for the live show, the live hangout show. If you want to jump on and chat with me, Mike Brenner, and Peter Loshak, we'll be on live. If you feel like stopping by. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you back tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern. Everyone have a great night. Bye-bye.